man, that's like 50% throttle. I can't bring myself to full gas it. It's so scary.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Yammy Noob. Today we're doing a ton of mods to this here Yamaha R7. It's our beginner bike giveaway motorcycle. We're very excited about this thing. Hit the links down below to YN Moto. Go to shop.yammynoob.co. Get yourself one of our new Nelson rig bags or a helmet. Every dollar you spend is an entry to win this thing. We're gonna be doing lots of fun mods to this motorcycle today. Spite, what are all the mods we're doing to it?
A lot. Our big one, obviously, is we're going to put an exhaust on this bike because you have to hear this motorcycle. It's criminal how just corked up it is from the factory. We've got protection for the cases, sliders, we've got a new windscreen, a whole bunch of other stuff, and some new brake pads for up front, which we've been reliably told really improve the feel on this motorcycle.
Yeah, we are very excited to install all that stuff on this bike. Stick around, today's gonna be a good one.
Alrighty, I am standing here in front of a giant pile of parts provided to us by Motivation USA. They are our premier supplier of all sport bike part goodness. Click the link down below and get yourself all kinds of goodies for your motorcycle. And I'm gonna walk you through the stuff that we have here, starting with this full system SC project, which is actually built for an MT-07. Now you might be thinking that we have an R7, is it gonna fit? Well, we're gonna find out. This was actually already fitted to an R7 that the guys over at Motivation did a track day on, and they said it works. We're gonna double check their work and see if it fits up well. It should sound really good. Then we have our nice set of fork sliders over here. Moving on, we have GB Racing case covers, which these things are seriously beefy. And we've got, of course, frame sliders here. Finishing it out, we've got our windscreen, which is gonna be a nice little addition. It's more of an aesthetic thing than anything else. And lastly, our EBC brake pads for the front brakes. These should really improve the feel more than anything. So let's dive into this. Well, we have pulled the stock exhaust system off this motorcycle here, and it's like 20 pounds worth of extremely quiet pipes for a motorcycle that you really want to hear. And the new system weighs in at like 4.5 pounds, so this thing's going in the dumpster, and we don't need it where we're going.
For the folks at home, that is exactly the same as the MT-07.
It's a little bit modified for the new year, so 2021 they added this like kink here, which I don't understand what this is all about, but regardless, yeah, it's the same thing off the 21 MT-07. So if you got one of these and you want an R7 pipe or the other way around, you're going to be fine.
All right, guys, we just installed the rear sliders over here. This is just a simple little axle slider, but these are kind of cool because they actually also have spools on them. So these kind of serve double duty as sliders for your rear axle here and spools for your stand. So that's pretty cool. Alrighty folks, we have installed the full system exhaust on this R7. This is actually an MT07 system, a 21 plus that we put on here, and our buddy Nate over at Motivation actually had already installed this on an R7, told us that it fits about like 95% of the way there. We're about to plumb this back up and see exactly where it's going to rub up against it. He said on the belly pan it may rub a little bit, but as you guys can tell, this is just a straight pipe. This is gonna be insanely loud. We're definitely gonna show you guys plenty of exhaust clips in this video, but I remember the FZ07 we did in 2019 as a giveaway motorcycle, which was almost 3 years ago, which is crazy. That had basically a full system as well. These engines sound ridiculously loud when you get this kind of pipe on there, but it looks pretty snazzy. We also put our case covers on there, both sides as well. Got our frame sliders on here. Evotech makes good stuff. This was super easy to install. Any R7 owner, I think you should just do this, no questions asked, because it's just going to be a great addition for your motorcycle. Add a lot of protection with like, this literally took me 5 minutes to pull these off and put them on. We got the brake pads on there. It's not very interesting. We swapped the pads out. We got a little bit better stopping power from a higher grade EBC pad. And yeah, we're going to stitch this thing all together and go take it for a ride. That idle.
That's a really bassy growl.
Put earplugs in. Okay. Okay.
It's almost like we put a race pipe on there.
Alrighty, folks, we're out here on location with the newly modified and farkled R7. Looks full-on squid mode with the black, unseeable windscreen. And I'm not the biggest fan of these. You can't see through them, you know?
I feel like the windscreen is the smaller of the two squid mode mods here. I think the bigger one is...
this boy right here, which we've already proven is a menace to society. I will turn it on for you folks. You know what everyone's going to say. They're going to say, oh, it sounds so good.
Yeah, they're like, it's not that loud.
It's not that loud, guys. Oh, it's not that bad. Oh, it's not loud at all. I feel everything shake.
Yep. It's so loud.
It's unconscionably loud. But while you're riding it, it does make it fun. Yeah, it does sound awesome. It sounds actually kind of similar to that thing, which is crazy for a supposed entry-level motorcycle.
Yeah, let me pop the Yolby FTR on here, which is our previously famously loud motorcycle.
Yeah.
Helps if I'm in neutral. There we go. So I think it's quieter at idle.
It is. Because this actually has baffling in it. Oh, jeez. Did you see that?
Yup.
Massive backfire. Both are giveaway bikes, guys, and we do not warrant that you can ride them wherever you live.
Let's get out of here before the cops come.
Yeah, there's a very fancy neighborhood down there, and they can probably hear it all the way from here. So let's get a move on. Ooh, that's fun.
Gotta get a little wheelie action in there.
It's an MT bike, at heart anyways, you know? So, mods on this motorcycle that actually means something while you're out on the road. Obviously this exhaust, holy crap, changed the character of this bike completely. Like every other CP2 equipped engine that we've done in the past. It's so nice, man. How does it sound from back there, Spike?
I mean, I can hear it over the FTR, which says a lot.
That's impressive, I gotta say.
It helps that I'm right downstream, but when you hop on the gas, you can really hear it.
Yeah.
And it's percussive and bassy.
Oh, yeah.
It really does sound a lot like the FTR, which is a compliment in every sense.
Yeah, when you're off the throttle, it's just bass city. You get all this low-end sound out of it. It sounds like a bunch of kick drums just going out. but then you drop a gear here and you rev it out. Yep, it's loud all the way through.
I will admit, when you hopped on the throttle there, your march away from me was a little underwhelming.
Hey man, I've only got 75 horsepower. Maybe this is one of those, you know, a lot of show, not a lot of go type of things. Like a really loud Miata or something like that. Fun to drive, but not very fun to be around if it's this loud. But the other big mod we did on this bike that we haven't actually touched upon in a video is we actually added tech-spec tank grips, which is a great addition to a sport motorcycle. You feel really connected with this thing, and with the new auditory experience, I feel like I'm on a pretty changed motorcycle. This is really sweet. Yeah, a lot of fun on this thing.
But man, we did a full exhaust system. You gotta give me the butt dyno. Does it feel any faster?
I have not ridden a motorcycle in 9 days, so everything feels kind of fast to me right now. I need to reacclimate my senses a little bit. I would say there's like 3 extra horsepower, 3 extra ponies that they smushed up into glue in here somewhere. I don't know.
That's a very precise number. I'd wager it probably just feels faster would be my guess.
Yeah. Now, one thing we did not do to this bike is put a tune on it, and a lot of you might say that that's sacrilege, you gotta get it tuned, and I would agree. If this were my motorcycle, which it technically is right now, I would probably get a tune on it. However, Nate from Motivation said that no tune and it's good to go, right, Spite?
Yeah, he was running that very same exhaust on the Motivation Shop R7 at Coda, and he did 15 laps just fine. Admittedly,
yeah.
They were rain laps, but still.
And I think too, whenever, you know, since this is just a straight up pipe, whenever you are at the high RPMs, at full song, you know, it is gonna feel pretty good. I think I'm still gonna get this thing with a nice dyno jet or maybe a flash and just get it sorted for the everyday rider, because I don't think whoever wins this bike is gonna go take it out to the track and just, you know, rail on it 24/7. It'll probably live life as a street bike.
It'll probably live life as the loudest street bike this side of the FTR.
Yeah, I gotta say, this might be one of the loudest bikes we've ever done. I think the ZH2 was louder just because it was a similar setup. But, yeah, this is ridiculously loud.
It's crazy how much it sounds like this massive V-twin, though. Like,
oh, yeah. Especially when you get it off the revs and it's doing some D-cell pops and crackles. It really does sound just like a big, beefy V-twin. This is one of the coolest engines of the last 10 years, I would say, just because of this character that it has. It's so sweet.
Yeah, I mean, it's got this weird sizzling effect too when you get on it. I can hear it when you hop on the throttle and hold it wide open.
Yeah.
The CP2, even the Crossplane 4 has that sort of sizzle at the top end.
And you gotta love too this bike with its cable throttle and the exhaust. It just really just snaps power. It's really rewarding, but probably unsuitable for a beginner. I think this bike with its exhaust right now probably would spook a beginner pretty good. It's pretty powerful and pretty loud and kind of scary. Yeah, I don't know. This is, again, bleeding edge of the beginner bike experience, as we would normally say.
I feel like you just gotta, you know, be a little bit more respectful of the machine.
Yeah, maybe don't immediately wheelie it once you get it, but it's just so tempting on these bikes, man. Question for you. Do you want to jump aboard? Let me know how it sounds.
Yeah. We're not gonna head into Emma Long and crush some single track, some hard enduro?
Look, I know that it's, you know, the same engine as a Tenere and all that, but and you're also an ADV boy, right? So you want to swap over to it.
That is so bassy.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
That is a good sound. I like that. It really helps elevate this bike up from like toy feeling, you know, because
oh yeah, definitely.
When it was all corked up, this bike is it feels a little plasticky. It definitely has that entry level feel. but you know, not in a bad way necessarily. It's just when you're used to big heavy metal machines, this feels a little bit chintzy, at least in some spots. Between the legs, the tank feels a little funny to me, but now it really does. It feels like a real bike.
Yeah, it's got a great feeling to it, and the vibrations you get out of it now and general character of it is pretty sweet.
The brakes feel good too with that new set of EDC pads on there.
Yeah, real nice and snappy. It's like we said, it's just so much more aggressive than it has any right to be. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I love the way these things will rev out. They sound so cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we gotta go down the oldie straight right here. Have a
Oh, we gotta
little
go
bit of
down this way?
fun. Yeah, this is where the straight is.
I thought we always turned right here.
It's a little longer this way.
You just want more, you know, seat time on the old R7.
Oh, sure, why not?
Yeah, between these two bikes, there's just a cacophony of sound happening. It's awesome.
The downshifts feel nice on this right now.
Oh, yeah.
Rev it out, let it overrun, and yeah, that's good. That's real good. I like that a lot.
And it's interesting how, I remember when you first rode the R7, you were pretty lukewarm on it. You know, you didn't really vibe with it very much, but a simple change like an exhaust can really change the experience of riding a motorcycle.
Yeah, the same thing happened with the XSR 700. I didn't really get it, and then we put the exhaust on there, and I was like, oh, it makes total sense now. It doesn't feel like it's that bad from where I'm sitting, but I'm sure being next to this thing would just be just unbearable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm next to you in a motorcycle wearing a helmet and earplugs, and I'm already like, man, that thing's freaking loud, you know? But, it sounds a lot, you know, in some ways like the SV650 we did in 2019 where we chunked the Dan Moto pipe on it. It sounds better because it's an SC pipe. It actually does sound a little crisper, and the CP2 is quite nice, but it's damn close to being unrideable in my opinion, of being like it's just way too loud.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's a race pipe or anything like that. This is the SC Project lightweight race pipe, so
Yeah.
perhaps it wasn't design intent for the street, but it looks cool and it sounds cool, so.
Yeah, it's basically the same setup I have on my 675R. It's just, yep, start at the headers and don't have anything in between until you're out at the end. Remember, that's basically what Brox told us whenever we put the ZH2 exhaust on. He's like, yeah, the can doesn't really matter as much. He's like, everything's happening before then, and
Yeah.
it's all open anyways.
He was like, if you have a gas leak, it doesn't matter, because the biggest one's right back there.
Yeah, it's also crazy how, you know, the displacement of the bike really matters as well. Because like the Gixxer 250, we've got it completely straight piped from the headers, chopped, right?
Yep.
But I would say that bike, the R7, is louder than the Gixxer just because it's a bigger engine. It's making more sound, you know?
Yep. More boom.
All right, folks, wrapping the day up here. I think this was a very successful mod day on the R7. We got all that stuff done, Spite and I, which, okay, we're like certified tail tidying exhaust mechanics at this point. But, you know, we got it done in an hour and a half. I bet you and a buddy could get it done in 2.5 hours, wrenching in your garage, beer in hand, and you radically change your bike and have some fun with it. These mods are all super easy to do, especially the frame sliders. Geez, those took me literally 2 minutes.
Yeah, the frame sliders looked like they were just comical how quick they went on.
Yeah. Then the case sliders too, just pop the fairings off. Exhaust was a little more finicky, but anything a reasonably competent mechanic could do, and you get a pretty spicy bike at the end of it. So if you've got an R7 or another sport bike, definitely recommend putting an exhaust on and having some fun with it. Would you say they were worth the effort, Spite, on those mods?
Oh yeah, totally. And I think we proved a good point here is that if you have an R7 and you're waiting for an exhaust to come out, just get a 21 MTO7 exhaust and put it on there, and it's going to work. You're going to be fine.
Yeah, and that's what we suspected when we got the bike. We're like, man, I bet so many 21 MT07 parts will fit on this thing, and sure enough, they pretty much all bolt on, which is great. So that's going to wrap us up for today, folks. Remember that R7 is a giveaway motorcycle. Thanks again to Motivation for supplying a bunch of parts for us to enjoy on this bike. And the FTR here too, giveaway bike as well. Check them out down in the description below. Catch you in the next one. See you later.